up, y'all? It's your man J-Rock, and I'm coming at you with another episode of the J-Rock Show. And today, I am going to talk about some Race to One sleeper picks. Now, the Race to One is obviously going to be very different this year, with every SimWorld prep team being in it. And if the last two seasons have proved anything, it's that when it comes time for the Race to One, in SimWorld prep, anything can happen. Here are my top 4 Race to One sleeper picks, and I'll be picking one team from each division. First up, I've got the Rocky Mountain Monsters. The Monsters currently sit in 6th place in the NEO region with a 12-15 record. The Monsters have shown at times that they can be a very high-powered offensive team, which is evident by their top 4 spot in SimWorld prep when it comes to points per game. However, the defensive end of the court is where they have lost a lot of their games. You know, they're in the bottom 3 of the league in terms of points allowed and opposing field goal percentage. If Rocky Mountain is going to go on a Race to One run, they're going to have to up the intensity on defense and be lights out in that regard. The margin for error when it comes playoff time is so very slim. All right, next, I've got Run DMV. You know, Run DMV can absolutely light it up from deep as their top 4 long-range scoring team in SimWorld Prep. This team is centered around that and their experienced backcourt comprised of guys like Nick Beal, Cam Jones, and Charles Pinkard, just to name a few. Now, defensively, they are in the bottom half of the league in regards to points allowed, but I think that if they can catch fire from deep, that could be enough to honestly win them some games in the Race to One. Following that up, going down to the southern region, I've got the AT Aliens. Now, the AT Aliens have hovered around in just under 500 for most of the season, but their division, the southern division, has arguably been the toughest in all of SimWorld Prep. Because of that, I believe their record can be somewhat deceiving. Now, in terms of experience, they are one of the most experienced teams in the entire league, and while they might not have the offensive firepower of some of the teams I'm talking about today, defensively, they can be utterly dominant. They lead the league in forced turnovers and are also top 5 in blocks and steals. If AT Aliens are going to have a chance at winning the Race to One, then they are going to have to continue to be great on the defensive end with guys like Royce Anderson, Orion Toomey, and the Repo Man, Bevinson Patches. And they're also going to have to find a way to generate some more consistent offense. All right, and to wrap this up today, I'm going with my favorite sleeper of all these teams out of the international region. That's right, it's SimWorld Asia Pacific. Now, APAC, if you remember, went on a Cinderella run all the way to the Final 4 of the Race to One last season, and I believe they could very well do so again this season. You know, this team is clearly centered around Kai Newby and the big man Leonardo Fields. Newby has vastly improved his offensive consistency this season, and Leonardo Fields has been dominant on both ends of the floor. Their chances at making another run are going to be dependent on these two, but more importantly, they will also need more consistency behind them. And Victor Sato and Oliver West are 2 players that I look at potentially doing so. Now, they're also going to have to be better defensively. They can be very streaky on both ends of the floor, and there have been times, like I've said before, when Leonardo Fields gets into foul trouble that they often struggle offensively. They are a team who can compete with anybody, and they have proven that on multiple occasions. They are a team to definitely keep your eye on. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of the J-Rock Show. Thank you all for tuning in. See you next week. And as always, see the game, be the game.